when the baby was implanting was that my body just like, my immune system got triggered because of that. All right, y'all, I wanted to sit down and share what my symptoms were before I found out I was pregnant, before I even missed a period, okay? We are talking like 7 DPO to 11 DPO. What were my symptoms? How did I feel? Because I think you're going to be quite shocked by a few of them, because I was shocked by a few of them. There was one thing in particular that happened to me right at 7 DPO that absolutely blew my mind. And the next day I was like, wait, did I just implant? I think I just implanted. So I have to share that story with you guys. For those of you who don't know or might be new here, I am actually 13 weeks today and I have one son and I'm now pregnant with my second baby. I do know the gender, have not shared it yet just because I wanna share it in a really cute way and I can't think of any ideas. You guys have to help me with some cute little video ideas on how to share the gender. This video right here is for my girlies in the 2-week wait period because I know what it's like to try to conceive, be in the 2-week wait, and you're sort of just like overthinking every single symptom. It was almost even a little bit worse for me because I was actually taking progesterone suppositories, and progesterone suppositories in itself give you symptoms. So every month, I mean, I'd get these symptoms, but they were just caused by the progesterone, but it would make me think that I was pregnant that cycle. So I started to catch on to that. But then this cycle that I did get pregnant, I knew something was different. I'm actually due in December. So that means we tried and we did conceive in March. But before we even conceived in March, I just had this intuitive feeling. I was like, I think this is the month I'm going to conceive and I think I'm going to have a December baby. Like I just had this feeling, okay? But outside of that, during the 2-week wait, I had my usual progesterone symptoms that it always caused, like extreme tiredness, some moodiness, twinges. So I would get those little like quick little twinges right on my ovaries and on my lower abdomen and sometimes on my, I don't wanna get demonetized, but sometimes on my V. Should we just call it my V? I don't want to get demonetized if I say the full word, but yeah. So I would get those twinges, but that would happen on months when I didn't conceive, okay? But here were my symptoms that were completely different on the month that I did conceive, even with taking my progesterone suppositories, okay? From 1 to 4 DPO, didn't really note anything super revolutionary. 4 DPO, I did write down here that I was moody and irritable. However, I have always experienced moodiness and irritability before getting my period, so that wasn't like anything crazy, but I just wanted to point that out. 5 DPO, 6 DPO, didn't really feel anything, which I was like, wait, am I supposed to be feeling something? But the truth is you're not really gonna usually feel anything that early, and if you do, it's not from pregnancy because it hasn't even implanted yet. 7 DPO, this is where the magic happened, y'all. 7 DPO is when something very specific happened to me that blew my mind. Okay, before we get into what happened to me at 7 DPO that was absolutely mind-blowing, I wanna share some items that I got recently because I've been super intentional about what I buy the second baby because I feel like I saved so much from when I had Kylo, but at the same time, there's been so many new things that have come out and upgraded since I last had my son, which was 4 years ago. So we're being very intentional about what we actually need. And what I recently learned is that there are so many health and wellness and baby essentials that are FSA eligible. So huge thank you to FSA Store for sponsoring this video and for sending me this Nanit Pro camera and wall mount baby monitor. If you have an FSA, this makes things so much easier because they have over 2,500 products and everything at the FSA Store is FSA eligible. So that saves so much time. It totally removes the guesswork, removes you having to deal with reimbursements after. You know that you can shop over 2,500 products that are for sure FSA eligible. And honestly, when I was shopping on there, I was so shocked to find so many baby essentials, prenatal vitamins, fertility and family planning products, high-tech health tools, and even innovative baby monitoring products, which monitor things like breathing and are available through FSA Store, which is something I definitely took advantage of because having baby number 2, we knew we would need a second baby monitoring system. So happy that they had that on there because those items are pricey, okay? So the fact that you can get them on FSA Store, huge. I love that it's already in one place. It makes it super easy to shop. And if you already have an FSA card, you can use it right at checkout. So if you want to check out what's eligible, head to fsastore.com/Amy Macedo, or you can just scan the QR code. Huge thank you again to FSA Store where everything is eligible for sponsoring today's video. I woke up that morning feeling a little off. I was already feeling just a little bit, you know, when you feel like you might just be like under the weather a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. I just felt a little off. I still felt decent because I remember working that day. But then in the afternoon, probably I think around 1-ish, I started feeling terrible. I started getting body chills, like literally I was shivering. It was March in Nashville, and March in Nashville is full-blown spring. I remember it being like 70 degrees, so it was pretty warm, but I was in the house with the heat turned up and with a sweater, and I had a huge blanket over me, like double layered, okay? I was absolutely shivering, cold, freezing, and I had those body aches feeling. You know when you're getting the flu and your body's like aching and it hurts? I actually felt that. So instantly I had thought, I'm getting sick, I must have caught a bug. I remember Googling, can you still conceive and get pregnant if you caught a bug or if you have the flu or something? Like, is that gonna affect my chances of implanting? I remember being worried about that. And it's funny looking back now, I'm like, girl, I don't think you were sick. So I was feeling absolutely terrible. I did not even pick up my son from school. My husband went to pick him up, which for me, I almost never miss picking him up from school because I'm just one of those, I'm just like weird like that where I just love picking him up from school. Like I love it. I can't even pass the opportunity to pick him up. I just love driving there, seeing him as soon as he walks out. So for me to miss picking him up from school was a big deal, okay? That's how you know I really was not feeling good. Like I was feeling terrible. I remember as soon as he got home from school, turning the TV on and being like, we're watching TV because mama's real sick right now. Couple hours later that night, literally maybe 5 or 6 hours later, I remember feeling significantly better, significantly better. I was able to get up off the couch, walk around the house. I wasn't as like achy. And then the next morning I woke up and I felt literally completely normal. Like I'm telling you, completely normal, like nothing had ever happened. So I was like, that's weird. I could have sworn yesterday I was getting the flu. Today I woke up and I feel 1000% normal. That's weird. And that's when it clocked to me. I was like, wait, is implantation flu a thing? So I Googled it and apparently it can be a thing and it can happen to some women, which was just mind-blowing to me. I also have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, and I have hypothyroidism. So I'm like, was that my body? Like when the baby was implanting, was that my body just like, my immune system got triggered because of that? Like, I don't know, right? I don't know, okay? If anyone's ever experienced that, write in the comments down below. Let's continue. Like, I know I just told you guys that was the next morning that I felt better, but let's just go back to 7-DPO. That same day I was feeling really sick. I also had really sore breasts, which I don't really get before my period. I know some women do. I used to years ago before my son, but I don't really get that anymore. And then I remember feeling very fatigued. Also had extreme gassiness. This is obviously not fun to admit or talk about, but it's the truth and I'm gonna share it because it happens. I remember having extreme gassiness as well, which was just like, I was like, okay, this is different for me, which I know progesterone can cause that, but I never caused that for me the other previous months. And then twinges. I had a bunch of like little like twinges happening, but again, that happened the other months as well. But I think the twinges in combination with the gassiness, the sore breast, and that like flu sick thing that happened to me, the next morning when I felt better, I was like, wait, I think I got pregnant last night. Like, I think I just implanted. And I remember being like mind blown, but I was like, no, like don't assume, right? So 8-DPO, felt nothing. Felt absolutely nothing, just felt way better. So that's why I was like, wait, it's weird that I'm like feeling better though. Cause like if I did implant yesterday, shouldn't I be feeling something? Blah, 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 I don't know. I felt nothing on 8-DPO. 9-DPO. Now this is when the real tea happened. Okay, so 7-DPO, I think that's the day I implanted. 2 days later, 9-DPO. I remember the only thing I really experienced that day, like no other symptoms, but I remember on this day, I was so hungry and I really wanted Chick-fil-A. Like I really, really wanted Chick-fil-A. And then I remembered it was a Sunday and that Chick-fil-A was closed. And when I tell you guys, I was so distraught. Like so distraught, I started crying and I was so just completely distraught because I was like, I remember saying like, who's closed on a Sunday? Like, why would Chick-fil-A close on a Sunday? I remember being on the couch just like literally crying that I had to get up because Kylo was right beside me and I'm like, I cannot cry right now in front of my son. So I remember getting up and walking to my bedroom just to like let the tears out because I couldn't get Chick-fil-A. Like pure insanity. I've never in my life cried because I couldn't get a certain food. Like just pure insanity. Actually, the only time that's ever happened to me was when I was pregnant with my son. So I was like, okay, I just cried. And like when the like emotions went away, like a few minutes later and I had calmed down, I remember being like, okay, I just cried because of Chick-fil-A. That's really weird. I think I'm pregnant. Like I remember texting my husband being like, I think I'm pregnant because I just cried over Chick-fil-A. So there's that. But other than that, I had no other symptoms that day. Like I literally, that's all I wrote that day. And then the next day, 10 DPO. Again, no other like big symptoms that I could really remember, but this right here, I was laying on the couch at night and I was starving. This was the beginning of my starvation that I didn't even realize, you guys, because this pregnancy, I have been starving like like a bull, like literally so hungry that I have to eat every 2 hours, every single day for the last like 3 months, like 2 months, whatever, since I've basically found out I was pregnant. This was the start of my hunger because I remember laying on the couch 10 DPO at night. It was like 7 or 8 p.m. and I was starving. And I was like, okay, Amy, you're so hungry right now. You need to listen to your body, but like pick a high protein, low calorie snack because I was still on a calorie deficit. So I remember getting some cheese and a turkey slice. I ate the turkey slice and it tasted slightly off, didn't think much of it. I ate the cheese and the turkey was not expired, by the way. So that was weird. Then I ate the cheese and I was like, why does this taste like rubbing alcohol? Like it tasted like a chemical, like rubbing alcohol. And I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. I literally remember being like, I'm pregnant. The fact that I'm eating a slice of cheese right now and it tastes like metal or like rubbing alcohol, I just knew it. I was like, I'm pregnant. But I didn't want to like get my hopes up because I was like, maybe it's the progesterone just doing something different this month, but I had never experienced that the other months. Those were like the main symptoms. 11 DPO, I can't remember really feeling much. And then 12 DPO is when I decided to test. And that's when you guys saw this video right here. But yeah, you guys, those were my symptoms before finding out I was pregnant, which were pretty wild. I will say there's some women that experience nothing at all before finding out they're pregnant. But based on my history, like with my son, I had pretty strong symptoms right after implantation. And I remember even getting nauseous with him, like already starting at 4 weeks. Even 9 DPO, I remember feeling nausea with my son. Luckily with this pregnancy, I only started feeling nauseous like a day or two around 4 weeks, but it went away and then only kind of kicked in around 6 weeks. But anyways, those were my symptoms before finding out. If you're currently trying to conceive, let's all support each other down below because I know how hard it is. But also if you are currently pregnant and there was anything that stood out to you before finding out you're pregnant, what were your symptoms? Write them down below and let's all just read the comments together. And it's fun. I mean, I find that fun. But anyways, huge thank you again to FSA Store for sponsoring today's video. I'm gonna leave all the links down below for that, by the way, as well. And yeah, let me know in the comments. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And also let me know if you have any pregnancy questions, because I think I'm gonna do a full pregnancy Q&A and all that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys. Mwah.